One of the major centers for fountain pen hobbyists in India has become Pune. Pune is fast becoming one of the major centers for fountain pen hobbyists in India, and this hobby is being driven by someone called Mr. Karamchandani of Venice Traders in Pune, where he has this huge fountain pen and ink and stationery business, which has built up in its wake a solid band of followers who swear by him, kind of, and who are attracting more and more people inwards, so that the hobby itself is growing. Now, Mr. Karamchandani has been doing a lot of things to ensure that this hobby keeps growing the way it is growing. He holds so many events, number one. Number two, he's been going to the schools and doing so many contests and exhibitions and kind of things that bring in the children and encourage them to pick up the fountain pen and ink. And he's also the man behind the Pune Pen Show, which just got over a couple of weeks back. Unfortunately, I've never been to his shop or to any of his shows, but what I hear from other fellow fountain pen lovers here is that they're great, and Mr. Karamchandani is doing a huge service to the community, which more or less everybody agrees. Now, another very interesting initiative from the House of Venice, which has the blessings of Mr. Karamchandani, is a kind of a tribute pen to APJ Abdul Kalam. And I've just got this pen. Mr. Karamchandani has sent it to me. Now, in the box, of course, is this Fountain Pen Day batch, which came in the box, and here is the pen. I hope you can see it, and with this little tag or this little insert that was there in the. So this says Dr APJ Abdul Kalam Signature Edition, and this is 0232. This is a numbered pen. This is the 232nd pen from this particular line, and it was manufactured by Jemini Writing Instruments, which is, as we know, the Magna Carta, and marketed by Venice Traders of Pune. And so generic name fountain pen, nib size B, blah blah blah, and this is the box with a nice window where you have Dr. Abdul Kalam's portrait, and it's written Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Signature Edition Fountain Pen. We'll take off the paper jacket, and here in the box, we'll show you close-ups of the box, but you have 4 cartridges and cloth to wipe your pen with, another insert that has has the usual addresses and social media handles, but it also talks about briefly about Dr. APJ, and this is the insert that's there in the pen. But the pen itself now, here is the pen in the plastic sleeve. We'll take it out, and this is the pen. This is Dr. Kalam's signature, and this is the pen. Now let's see it from the top. You have M or W written on top, which is the Karamchandani ji's branding on the top, and then it's written dynamic here, which is, I believe, the Magna Carta branding, and this is 0232, the number is mentioned here. This is an acrylic top and cracked ice with, this is a push button pen with a nice steel nib that says "I love India" on the nib, and this is of course a converter cartridge pen, and here is the usual standard plastic cartridge converter, and I don't know, this part looks multicolored. Probably this was chipped off from some leftover kind of material, because this is neither this nor that, and it has a strange bulbous kind of clip that tapers towards the top, and it looks like a Corinthian column, and strange. Anyway, so this is the pen. This is, I thought, a very nice gesture, to dedicate a pen to Dr. Abdul Kalam. But the quality of the pen, of course, I mean, we are going to test it, but coming from the house of Venice, which has a huge legacy in the business, and they have built up their own name, and the fact that it is built by Magna Carta, which is also as a manufacturer of good writing instruments, pretty high up in the ladder. Now, there's not much to say about the pen per se, because I'll assume that the pen will perform the way it is intended to perform. But I have a certain observations, my personal observations. I don't know whether I should be making them, but what the hell. I mean, we are talking about Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. This is a man who had very humble beginnings, and who went all the way up to become the first citizen of India. Now, he was the father of a lot of things that we Indians can be proud of. He was the missile man of India. He was one of the most respected presidents who was above politics, above all politicking, and he represented the kind of face that we want to portray to the world. Now, the question is, and he was an immensely educated man. All that he achieved was by dint of his education, by virtue of his hard work, by his knowledge. He is revered for his knowledge, he is respected for his knowledge, he is loved for his knowledge. Now, the question is, does this pen reflect all these things? I mean, I'll leave the answer for you guys to guess. But my reservations are about this column. I mean, this nib. I mean, does it in any way reflect the space odyssey that we are now, or we will be taking part in the future, thanks to Dr. Kalam, or our prowesses as a power with the right kind of missiles, or does this pen reflect that? Uh, we as a people uh, tend to get carried away. It's very easy to put his name here on a fountain pen and get into the bandwagon and kind of do whatever we are trying to do. But does this logo, this signature, and this logo and this logo, do they go together? I mean, again, that's one answer I'll leave on to you guys to figure out, because there's a very subtle difference between a signature and an autograph. We all have signatures, we all have signs, but this is an autograph. This is an autograph of a man who, to many of us, is up there with the gods. Now, is my God reflected in this pen? Well, I'd rather not answer that question. Point is, does it write? Again, it won't really matter, because most of the people, I was talking to some other people before doing this video, some senior fountain pen lovers, people who are in this hobby and who are users of fountain pens as well as being collectors. They were ruing the fact that most of the people who will buy a pen like this will not actually write with it. These are accessories or pieces that you pick up to put in your cupboard. But then also the kind of seriousness or the kind of dedication that a pen of this stature, I'm talking about intellectual dedication, I'm not talking about the physical qualities of the pen, I'm not talking about whether it writes or not, I'm not talking about how much it costs, or I'm not talking about whether it will perform the function for which this pen has been made, but the kind of intellectual inputs that this pen demanded is lacking in this pen. I'll give you just one example. Think of the Mobla Gandhi edition or the Mobla John Lennon edition or any of these, name Moblas, and look at the kind of detailing that is there in every aspect of every one of those pens. Now, just because we also make pens, let's have Abdul Kalam's signature and sell it off at a premium, that's something that I feel should be avoided. It could have been avoided, but it has been done. Just because I have the wherewithal should not give me the right to have the sign pasted on the cap or the barrel and make a commercial this thing. I don't know whether there must be some charity somewhere where a token amount will be paid from the proceeds of these pens. Normally they are. I don't know about this particular case, but even then, I don't, I have my reservations about using his name for this kind of a, a blatant commercial activity with such a flippant attitude, with it's just someone putting everything together and writing Abdul Kalam and numbering it. So I thought a lot more thought and passion should have gone into the making of this pen. Now, these are my personal feelings, my personal thoughts, and I apologize to everyone with folded hands if I have hurt any sentiment anywhere. That's not the intention. The very fact that such a thing is being done or being considered uh, is a step in the right direction. But having said that, I have my reservations about the way this has been brought about. I mean, no offense to either Venus traders or to Karamchandani ji or to Hiren Kanakhara or to Magna Carta, the makers of these pens, but I feel that more this could have been a more knowledgeable step in the direction that they wanted to go. So, in the meantime, what we will do is, because at the end of the day, do you think this plastic uh, filler does justice to this name? I mean, I have my reservations. Or this, multicolored insert that holds the converter in. This looks like it's material that was lying around in the factory, which has just been, brought in and put in to do this thing up. I mean, it has got nothing to do. This is like Punjabi Borog. This clip, this band, this the nib, and to be very honest, this uh, this metal section where you hold the pen with the perforations which are supposed to help your fingers rest on them. This is also not ideal for a fountain pen, in the sense that we have different fingers sizes and all fingers will not fit into them, and these metal grip sections, they tend to be very slippery and not the ideal one. I mean, would I otherwise buy a pen with a section like this? The answer is no. But yeah, I mean, it's to you to decide what kind of pens you like. But that's about it. Let's ink up the pen and see how it writes now. This is the Bharat Ratna Dr APJ Abdul Kalam signature edition pen. As you can see, it started writing the moment I just inked it up, and the moment I started writing, it writes without a skip or without anything. This is by Venus Traders. And manufactured by Venice Traders of Pune, manufactured by Magna Carta. This is, as you can see, a beautiful pen. Writes well. There's no solid, this looks like a medium nib with, as you can see here, there's I Love India etched in the nib, and this is the number 0232 of, so this is the numbered edition, you call it the numbered edition. And this is a very nice, and as a pen, this is as good as it gets. But even if you want to write upside down, then also it does its job. And it has a nice, wet, juicy line. It has the, I believe, the Magna Carta nib and fade, the plastic fade that they have been doing with nice fins, and very good weight flow of ink. Nice. There is no feathering, but the ink, that's the fault of the paper, though it bleeds to the back, but that's part of the problem brought about by the ink, partly because of the poor quality of the paper. But the pen is beautiful, and this is the pen. This is about it. I'll show you again. This is the pen. This is how it looks, black and white, with a crest logo here, dynamic there, the number there, and Dr APJ Abdul Kalam's the very revered and respected autograph on the, so this is an autograph edition, a signature edition, if you may so say, and this is the pen. And I mean, anything to do with Dr. Kalam, you cannot have your hands like this, you have to fold them. He is so respected, and this is the pen with the, like, the column, and that's it. Hope you like the video. Please, if you do, like, share, and please post your comments. Because I believe this is something that needs to have a conversation going around it, and please write your comments. So thank you very much for watching. Till we meet again with another video. Thank you.